Hi guys, A Stitch Too Far here. Welcome to my 8th flosstube video, I think. It is Sunday morning in September, somewhere around 24th or 25th, I think. And I'm here to give you an update of what I've been doing this week. And this might take a while, so grab your coffee or any other drink you like and get your stitching out and we'll have a chat. Oh, and speaking of coffee, did anyone see the Stitcher's nightmare that I think Lucy V is her name had with spilling coffee on her full coverage piece? Oh my god, that got me really scared. So I'm putting my coffee away on the left side today because everything is on the right side, hoping that I'm not going to spill anything. So, I wanted to start out first by talking about the frequency of my flosstube videos. When I started making these videos, I thought maybe I would have enough to show a progress video every month, and I've been doing this now for 2 months and I've managed to make about a video every week now. And which is totally amazing me, and what's even more amazing is that I've got a lot of subscribers that I'm very thankful for, and a lot of people commenting on my videos every time, which is so much fun and I really appreciate it. So I wanted to say thank you again for doing that and for sticking with me and watching my videos and enjoying them apparently. It's been so much fun sharing my hobby with all you guys and getting feedback and just sharing ideas and sharing stash, which always enables me again. And yeah, I just wanted to say I really appreciate you all, and you have no idea how much the fact that you're watching this video means to me. Because I think actually by making these videos I've actually gotten also more productive and more excited about my stitching, because I'm getting feedback and because I'm able to tell you about what I'm doing and you're giving feedback on that. But having said that, I am not sure that I will be continuing my weekly videos, because I have 6 whips at the moment and they're all quite big. And I work on each one about 2 or 3 days in a row, and that does give some progress, but I'm not sure if it's enough to keep making a progress update every week, simply because I wouldn't have very much to show and the videos would be rather short. So that's actually something I want to ask your opinion about, because this video will be quite long because I've got quite a bit to talk about, and I think if I would be continuing a weekly update from now on, it might be a lot shorter, because well, I can't work on all my projects in a week, and if I would do that I would have only a little bit of progress to show, and I have at the moment all the stash that I need, so I won't have anything to show you in terms of that. So let me know what you think about that. Do you want me to continue doing a weekly update, and they will be shorter, they might be just 5 or 10 minutes long, or would you prefer me to switch to like a monthly update, and that would then be a longer video, maybe half an hour long? I would love to hear from you, because I know people have long lists of videos they want to watch, and maybe shorter videos would be nice, or maybe they would just prefer to have the longer ones and see everything all at once. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about in that regard. Also, I wanted to share a bit about what I've been doing this week regarding my work. I actually had the opportunity to go to Antwerp in Belgium and give a workshop with a colleague, and that was a lot of fun. And I went by train and I traveled through Antwerp train station, which is just one of the most beautiful ones I think that I've visited in Europe. So if I remember, I will put a picture in here to show you just how beautiful that train station is. Just give you a little bit of a glimpse of Europe at its best, I must say. So having said that, let's get on with some stitching progress. I have worked on 4 things this week since last Saturday, and let's just start with the works in progress first. And the first one is Takapuna Beach. I'll try and add a picture of what it's supposed to look like somewhere here. And this is where I got to. As you can see, I have progressed to the other side of the piece, to the upper right corner, and I've started filling in these bits because there are several different colors in here. And actually I'm using this piece to try and figure out how I'm going to start working full coverage pieces that are more confetti heavy, because this is quite confetti rich, and I'm a cross-country stitcher usually, and actually there was a question about how I stitch full coverage pieces, and I made a little video about that, and I might insert it here or I will add it at the end, because well, I don't know if everyone is interested to see that, but well, we'll see. So yeah, I got a couple of 100 stitches in on that, and I'm glad I'm finally stitching in different colors. So I'm going to continue working on this side for a bit and then move to fill in this part, because I like to fill in from the top down and then work my way down again. Well, I'll save that to the end, but I got my frames in from Almond, but I'll talk about that in a bit. So the next whip I worked on was Save the Stitches, and I did that in the weekend. I was thinking about what I talked about in the previous video about if I do 1 block a month, it will take me still a long time, so I decided, well, while I'm still in the mood, let's just grab the next block and finish that one too. So I finished block 7, and this is how it's looking at the moment. So this is block 7, including this little vignette. This was a lot of fun to stitch. It looks quite complicated, but once you're getting into it, it's quite easy to do, I found. And yeah, there's nothing much else to say about this. I was thinking about, I did do some changes in previous blocks because, well, I don't have OCD, but I noticed in this pattern that there is sometimes they look like mistakes or things left out where I would have expected part of the pattern to show up, so I just made that in the way I would like to see it myself. And you may also notice that I'm getting to the part where I'm going to have to move my scroll frame. So I'm thinking, and let me know if you're interested in that, to just do a little video about each block before I scroll up and show you, if I can remember, what things I changed about those blocks. So let me know if you're interested in that, and I will add it to a next video. So the next one is coming up, which will be the block number 8, which is another one of the horizontal ones, which goes all the way across, and we'll have the vignettes like this one. And I haven't started it yet, but it'll come up somewhere this week or next week probably. So those were the whips that I've worked on. I also have a fully finished object. And if you have OCD, I recommend close your eyes for a few minutes because this might freak you out. Because I had the box and I had the pattern and I decided to put it in, and as you can see I was off a bit, and well, basically this was just a little thing I tried out and I thought I'd stick it in and might even change it out in the future for something else. So I wasn't too bothered by it that I cut it wrong, but if you have OCD I think that would drive you nuts, so that's why I felt like I needed to warn you about it. But yeah, so this is my third and final box, and this one keeps my petite treasure braid or rainbow gallery threads, because there's also some whisper thread in here. And it's so handy because there's magnets in the lid. So if you pick it up, nothing falls out, which is super handy. So that was my fully finished, slightly off-centered box. And then as I said, my frames have arrived, and also my fabric order came in at the start of the week. So I started my two things that I wanted to start this week, which is firstly patient stitcher. We still have the pattern on it, so I'll take that off and I'll try and insert another picture of what it's supposed to look like at the end. And I try and remember also to put in what fabric I'm stitching on. I know it's a linen, and I know it's Zweigart, and I think it's 35 count, but I'm not sure. I'll put it down in the description thingy. So what I did, here it is. I wanted to make sure that I liked the colors that I picked out, so I did part of all the pieces where there's different colors in it. So I started by making this flower pattern, then I moved to the yellow bits, and then I did some of the lettering. And I have to say I'm really pleased with the color choices, so I don't know how I'm going to proceed now. I think I'll just work my way across the top like I usually do and then work my way down. And these two are the silks by Dinky Dyes, and I must say they are really a lot of fun to work with. They just glide through the fabric, really pleasing. And I'm also pleased with the yellow one, the variegation is pretty nice. The blue one isn't showing up that well. I'm stitching this with one thread of floss over 2 threads of fabric, I think. Oh, let me check. Yeah, I think it's over 2. And I did that also for the lettering, but I wasn't very happy because I wanted to make them stand out more. So I'm doing the lettering over 2. And I think, well, the variegation in the blue is not showing up very well, and I'm not sure if that is because I'm using 2 threads. I did have a look at how the threads are colored, and it does seem like for this Dinky Dye thread that I can just cut up a length and take 2 threads, and the variegation is similar. And so I'm not sure if it's just that slightly variegation that is really hard to see if you're just stitching it, or if I'm making an error by picking 2 threads. If you have any experience with it, I would love to know. If you have the same experience that the variegation isn't showing up that well with 2 threads. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how this is progressing, and I'm happy with my color choices. So this will be fun to work on as a more colorful piece. And then let's take a sip of my coffee first and be very careful about it. The last but not least that I worked on is I started Death by Cross Stitch, and this is on a 28 count linen, and I'm doing this 1/1 because this is quite a big piece, and the way I'm doing it now, it's going to be about 35 centimeters wide by 40 something centimeters tall, and that's basically about the biggest I like to get. I don't like to have like enormous pieces because I do want to put them on my wall, and if I put such big pieces on my wall, well, there's no room to put anything else next to it. So, and this I did the same thing as with Patient Stitcher. I tried several parts of the pattern and the two threads that I chose to see if I'm liking my color choices. And as you can see, there are two smaller borders on the top, which I've stitched in the variegated thread, as well as this part of the border. And I'm working the more vignette-like pieces in one color, 902 by DMC. And I do like the combination. I think this color is working really well together. It's showing up a bit darker here than in real life. But I do want to ask your opinion about these top borders, because I'm not convinced I like them. I definitely don't like the variegation in the top one. I think it's too blocky. I might keep the thinner one, and I'm actually thinking if I want them both. So if you have any opinion about that, what you think might look nice, let me know. And I might have some frogging ahead, but anyway, this is a lot of fun to stitch. But again, it's a 1/1, so the Patient Stitcher and Save the Stitches will be a great fun to switch out with now and again, just to get away from the 1/1. And yeah, that's about all I can say about this. Let me check. Yeah, that's all I have to say. So let's move on and talk about my Almond order. As I mentioned in the previous video, I was still waiting on the order to arrive, and there were some issues with, there was an error message on the tracking site that the address was incorrect, and I was really worried if they would actually show up or be sent back to Lithuania. I think it's Lithuania, Estonia, not sure now. But while I was uploading that video, actually a package arrived, and it was my frames. And I made a little clip to show you how it's packaged, and it was actually very well packaged, so I'm very pleased. And I'll put in those clips here so you can see. Hey guys, it is Saturday, September 17th, and I just finished my previous flosstube video, and it is uploading as we speak. And in it I was talking about my frame order from Almond. And surprise, surprise, it has just turned up at my doorstep. So I thought I would make a little video and add it to the next flosstube video that I'll do, just to show you the packaging. I have two pieces of paper on it at the moment because they are covering up my address. And as you can see, it comes in a cardboard box, and I already opened it to make it easier on myself. And as you can see, it is very neatly packed inside. So compared to my previous order and my previous update, or hang on, my previous video on how the packaging is looking, this is so much better. So I'm going to pause and take it out. And we're back, and I've taken it just out of the box, and as you can see, every little piece is wrapped in cling film, but because it fits so nicely in the box, and actually if I reach down, they even added some paper wadding to make sure every little piece is secure. So even if you order less than I did, I think now the packaging is really well done, actually. So I'm gonna have some fun getting the cling film off every piece, and now it's only time to wait on my fabric order, and I can actually start some new projects. So for now, I'm saying goodbye. Catch you later. So yeah, they are very neatly packed. I ordered 3 frames, including the horizontal bars and the screw bars. So I wanted some more screw bars because it's easier to just put away the frame. And if I have to order any more in the future, I'll probably just order the horizontal bars and switch out the scroll bars. But besides from the packaging, there was another change I noticed, which I wanted to share with you. And I'm not sure if you can tell, but the wood in my first order was varnished, and this is untreated. If that would have been something that you didn't like in the other frames that I showed, then now you're in luck, because actually now they are untreated. I don't really mind either way, and on the rest is still the same, and it just feels a little bit different because the varnish is very smooth, and this is also very smooth, but yeah, it just feels a little bit different. And the other thing I have a little bit of a problem with is actually in this one, yeah. So this is a very, very thin linen that I'm doing patient stitch on, and actually when I put it in my frame, it kept slipping out of the top one. So I think that so I didn't have to, what I did in the previous one, I didn't have to sand down the middle pin, the thingy here, but somehow they might have changed that a bit, that they might have changed the size a bit, and for this one with the very thin linen, it was too thin, so it kept slipping out of the grip. So what I did was just a basic solution. I took some fabric that I have laying around, and this is actually also very thin, so I just doubled it up and also put the right side in. So I was a bit worried that it might give off color on to my linen, so I just did that and I stuck it in with my linen, and now it's just tied perfectly. So that's just something I noticed with this frame. I didn't have any problem with any other frame, so it might just be this one that had a tiny bit off with the pin, or this one is also the 60 centimeter one, and I ordered 2 of those, and the other one doesn't have that problem, so it might just also be this linen, I'm not sure, but I just thought I'd share that with you. So, and I've managed to make the covers for almost all of them. I still need to make one more, but that'll come. I was running out of thread for my mother's sewing machine, which is still with me. My mother is currently on holiday, so she's not missing her sewing machine. Let me think. Oh yeah, so I've also got in some fabrics, which I'm not going to show you, because they're all neutral colors and they're just normal things, no special things. Two of them I actually did show you because they are on the Death by Cross Stitch and the Patient Stitcher, and I'll give the information below. And I was in need of some new highlighters, so I went to one of those, like a dollar store or a pound store, to pick some up, and that's very close to a shop that sells craft materials. They do have some cross-stitch stuff, but it's mainly kits and a bit of DMC floss, but they do have a big section of sewing materials, so I thought I'd drop by and check out their button collection and see, because I'm in need of a few more needle minders. Excuse me. So I picked up some buttons, and I'm waiting on an order for magnets because I was running low. And if I've made them, then I'll add them to a future video and show you what needle minders I made. That's about it, I guess. And then there's one final bit of information. There was a question on my previous video by Beverly Avenger, I think your name is. She asked me some specific questions about how I stitch full coverage pieces. And I'm going to add, I made a little video about it just now, because I was working on Takapuna Beach anyway, and I'm going to add that video in here. I have a bit of an unconventional stitching technique, and well, I'll talk about that in that video. So that will be added on here, so that there's nothing else that I can talk about at the moment or share with you. So I will be saying goodbye right now. Thank you very much for watching. If you like my videos and want to keep up to date of new posts, please subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please answer them below, or ask them below, I should say, in the comments. And well, maybe I'll see you next week, or maybe I'll see you in a month, I'm not sure. Please let me know what you'd like me to do, and I will see you in the next video. Happy stitching, everyone. Bye. Hey guys, so Beverly Avenger, I think I'm saying that name right, had a question about how I work on full coverage designs, and she wanted to know if I work from top to bottom or from left to right, so in columns or in rows. And she also wanted to know if I mark off my pattern and how I do that. So actually at the moment I am reinventing the way I stitch full coverage pieces. This is the second one I think I'm doing. The first one was the Lady with the Pearl Earring by Vermeer that I showed in my first video as a fully finished object, I think. And that one wasn't that confetti heavy, and I have a tendency to work cross country, and this is what I'm currently working on, which is Takapuna Beach. And as you can see, I have started at the top. Actually, I started top left, and I started the way I normally start, which is cross country, and that was pretty easy to do because, as you can see, if I close in a bit, these are quite big color blocks of the same color. So what I did here was I just worked one color at a time and filled that in cross country. And I think I mentioned this before, this is all very much blue, and if I go down it would be more blue sky. And because I already was working on the ink circles pattern, which is also blue, and Save the Stitches, which is also one color mainly, I thought I would work my way to the right side of the pattern, because over here, as you can see, there are different colors coming in, and I thought I might get bored if I would stick just to the left side of the pattern. What I do tend to do is work from top to bottom. So working cross country, I would just pick a color, work it a little bit, and if needed, if I was getting too far away, I would park that thread somewhere and just start a different color. But as you can see, I worked my way along the top to this side, and I found that this bit is quite confetti heavy. Let's see if I can adjust it a bit, focus maybe. Yeah, so there is like 10 different colors in here, which compared to a height is still relatively straightforward. But this pattern has some symbols in it which are very similar, so that was making it quite difficult to work cross country with just one color, because I would keep missing spots where there should be a color, or stitching parts where there should be a different color. So I did start with this green and work my way across first, and then I thought, well, this bit is so confetti heavy, I'm going to switch my stitching style. So I tried the parking method that most people use for HAID projects, Heaven and Earth projects, where you just take a block of 10 by 10 and you stitch it one color at a time until you get to the bottom, and then park it, and then if you fill the whole block, you move to the next block underneath. And the next block underneath actually had some color which I was able to do cross country again. So I'm kind of switching up between doing cross country bits and doing parking in blocks. I parked this bit, this was a 10 by 10 block, and then I started doing this again cross country, and I'm actually filling this part in cross country, but I am doing it sort of block by block. And to explain that, I am going to have to show a bit of the pattern. I hope you people will understand, and I do think that just by showing this little bit of the pattern, I think no one can actually make the whole design. So, and if they just stitch this, then it looks like nothing. So I hope you'll forgive me for showing a bit of the pattern. And let me try and grab it for you. And I can also show how I mark off, and it's stuck to my thing because, as you can see, I'm using a needle minder to keep it on my fabric. So this is what I'm talking about. You see all the similar symbols here. That is such a big block that I can actually do that cross country pretty easily. And then I came to this bit where, as you can see, there are very different symbols, but also some are looking quite similar. So this is the bit where I started to do the 10 by 10 block thing. And what I do is as you can see, I've marked where the 10 by 10 blocks are, because it's not marked on this chart. It's a pretty old chart. And then I just started at the top where I hadn't stitched yet and picked that color, and what I do is I mark it off in yellow, all the same color in that block. Then I stitch it, and then I look for the same symbol in the block below, and I park my thread there. So in this case, if I would start this circle with a dot in it, I would look here, and it's over here. So I would have parked my thread in this block, this little square, and I usually park in the lower left corner of the symbol, and then I would mark it off as yellow, just a yellow symbol on my chart. And then all the blocks that I've done already, I've stitched already, I would mark off with orange in this case, so I know that I've stitched them. And then I just move to the next symbol, stitch all that in this block, look for it again in the block below, and it would be in here, so I would have marked this off as yellow and marked all these off as orange. I hope that's making sense. So when I was doing this, I encountered another block which was quite large, which I could do cross country again. So I'm kind of mixing it up. I'm actually going to stitch this just as a block again. And the reason that I prefer doing that is if I already have the thread in my needle, I don't like putting it away because, yeah, that takes time again. And I do enjoy doing it cross country, as well as I am worried about maybe showing up the lines of the blocks where I've stitched. I haven't had any experience with working in blocks, so that's one thing that keeps me from doing that too much. So when I did these two, I parked my threads actually to the left because of this large block of different colors that's below here, and I would have had to park somewhere over here if I wanted to continue, and I thought that was a bit too far away. I might as well go up again. And here I started with a different technique where I just, because of the blocks, I could sort of scan per block where the colors were, and I marked them off with yellow in the whole block. Then I stitched them and marked them in orange and parked my thread in the next block. And as you can see, I've been doing that over here as well. So I've had different symbols that I've marked off as yellow and completed all the stitches and then marked them off as orange. And I've actually also parked them where I would continue. And what I choose to do is if I want to go left or down, depends on where I'm at in this side of the block, and if the next symbol is closest on the left side or down. And what I'm actually thinking of doing is, if I go back to what I stitched, as you can see, I've got a lot of pieces where there is 4 stitches on all sides, and I have to fill in the center block. And if you watched the latest video by Blitz Stitch, which I will try and link below, he's talking about that it's really difficult to make the stitches neat in this part, and I agree. It's also very difficult to get the needle through because all the holes are already filled with 3 threads. So I'm actually at the moment trying to finish off all the loose threads that are hanging, and I am going to try and work his technique of diagonal parking. And I'm not sure where I'm going to start it actually, so that's something I'm currently figuring out. But I thought for the moment I just finish off the threads and see from there how I move on. Well, I think that answers your question. As I said, I'm not working in blocks, I'm not parking the conventional way. So I guess I'm a sort of a country parker, I guess. I'm not sure what the term would be, but yeah, that's basically what I can tell you about this.